Yeah, this is a perfect
Hi.
opportunity too, yeah.
Wow, she's so beautiful.
She's a good girl.
Welcome back to My Cat Calling, the podcast for cat people by cat people. I'm Krista Moy. I'm a comedian, writer, designer, and cat mom to this golden bachelor, Prince Gary. Each week we dive into the world of the cat obsessed and interview a cat caller about their cat. We've got an exciting episode with special guest David, director of the film Disaster Cats, joined by his cat Cleo. If you haven't yet, join our audience. Follow us everywhere on social media at My Cat Calling and subscribe to our channels everywhere you get your podcasts. We would very much appreciate your support to help grow this indie podcast. If you know a cat lover who might like what we're shedding out, share this episode with them. Spread the purd. Now it's time for our mood check. How you doing today, Prince Gary? He's purring a lot today. He's really, really happy. He just got a churu. So that might be the secret to getting him in the best mood for the show. I think we found it. Listen. He's super happy. Oh my goodness. This week we've got a show and tell segment. I'm bringing it back from season 1. I got another great toy from Chip's Toy Store. Prince loves this one. These just dropped in times for Valentine's Day, and as you can see, it's a fuck ice heart. But $3 of every heart goes to the PIRC Oregon, an organization supporting immigrant rights. These are a must-have gift for your cat this Valentine's Day. So find them on Chip's Toy Store on Etsy or Instagram, and shipping was fast, and supplies are running out even faster. So go get yours before they sell out. Now it's time for our Pert of Advice segment. If you have a cat-related question you would like a second opinion on, I'm no expert, I'm just a lady with a cat. Email us at mycatcalling@gmail.com. Your question may be read aloud on our show. Our question this week comes from Niles. He says, "Hey guys, love the show and your advice. I wanted to ask if you ever buy any prescriptions for Prince Gary online. I have been buying my cat Raymond his prescription food on Chewy, but I always run into issues with the prescription. Have you ever used any other websites that you would recommend? Thanks, Niles." Great question, Niles. I actually have been dealing with an issue with Chewy recently that made me want to stop using them. I was a loyal Chewy user for 10 years since I got Prince. He's been getting prescription food for his urinary issues, the urinary SO, Royal Canin food, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it was kind of annoying for the last 10 years, but something happened in the last year where they just got really, really extra annoying with their prescriptions because we moved and switched vets, and suddenly they were asking his new vet to provide a prescription, which previously they were okay just using the prescription from his old vet in Brooklyn from years ago. So anyway, there was a lot of back and forth with his wet food, and we finally got that squared away. But now they recently tried to do the same thing with his dry food, saying oh, the script that you gave is incorrect, and we need to call your vet, and they're not getting back. Just a laundry list of all these excuses. And I talked to my vet. They're like, it's fine. Chewy's just really hard to deal with. I recommend going with Pet Meds or another similar online provider. So that's what I decided to do. And I've been using Pet Meds for his flea medication as well, even though it's not really, you don't need a prescription for that. But they have his flea medication on there. So I was already using them for that, and I was like, you know what, let me just switch over and get his prescription food on there too. And it actually saved me a little bit of money. So competitively, it was a better price to make the switch to Pet Meds. No shade to anybody if you want to use Chewy, if that's your preferred, by all means, do that. They're not a bad company. I just have had a really bad experience with their prescriptions in particular. And then also, like, their shipping is kind of weird. Like, they'll ship like treats or something that's like small with something that's really, really heavy, and it'll like crush the treats. Or I've had like them ship litter with like his canned food, and then it like bursts the bag of litter open. Like things like that are just like really annoying. So up to you if you want to stick with Chewy, but I've really had a good experience with pet meds. I know their supply is not the greatest, like it's not as they don't have as much variety as of products as Chewy does, but for their prescriptions, it was definitely a lot less of a hassle. So I hope that helps you, and good luck with your experience. Let us know how it goes. Welcome back, Pawdians. Our guest today is a director and storyboard artist in TV and feature animation. His long career has included work on such titles as Recess, Kim Possible, Penguins of Madagascar, Lion Guard, Tinkerbell, and The Ghost of Molly and McGee. And The Ghost of Molly McGee. He has been recognized with multiple Emmy and Annie Award nominations and 2 Emmy wins for directing on Penguins. Please welcome to the podcast David and his cat Cleo.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Cleo's out roaming around the backyard right now.
Ugh, as she should be. It's a beautiful day here in LA.
Gorgeous.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the pod. Very exciting. And you've got a lot to share with us today, but I always ask, have you always been a cat person?
Yes, I was actually brought up with dogs and cats, living
Okay.
together, so it was pretty fun. In fact, one of my most cherished pet memories is when we got a puppy and a kitten at the same time, and
Oh,
it just watching them chase each other around and wrestle, it was endlessly entertaining.
that's so cute. How old were like your puppy and your kitten?
I mean, our dog, she was a miniature schnauzer. So when we got her, we could hold her in the palm of our hand. So she was pretty
Like
small.
tiny, tiny.
In fact, like a regular sized house cat, she probably didn't get much bigger than that.
Okay.
So yeah, they would chase each other around. And the cat, Misty, when she had enough, she would just leap up somewhere high because Muffin, our dog, couldn't get to that point at some point. But then she got big enough. And the day that she could leap on top of the cat was like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
So it was
And
Misty and
afterwards, they're racing.
Muffin. Those
Yeah,
were the names.
yeah. Muffin was
Oh,
the dog because she was as big as a muffin, and Misty she was a Siamese cat, and she's kind of mostly gray with a little bit of charcoal.
I love a Siamese cat. I don't know if you can see my poster here in the back.
Um,
It's Siamese.
oh yeah,
I got, I got that at the Tailtown Cat Lady experience.
oh yeah.
They had
They're
like a
just down
bunch
the
of,
road from me
yeah,
on
yeah,
Washington.
yeah. I
Oh
love
yeah.
Tailtown, and I believe they still have it going on. I'm not sure. It might be
Mm-hmm.
like an ongoing thing. So they've got a lot of cool swag if you're into that.
Yeah.
Well, was that your first cat experience with
No,
Miss?
Misty was our second cat. Our first
Okay.
cat was my parents' cat, before I
Oh,
was born. Her name was Tasha. I love that name.
that's a good cat name, Tasha.
Yeah. My parents always had Siamese. So Tasha, I think, passed away around probably mid elementary school, and then
Mm,
we were able to kind of all together go get new pets, which was really exciting when you're a kid.
yeah. So was Tasha your first cat calling, like your first connection with a cat?
Yeah, and she loved to cuddle, so
Aw.
I always thought, I was very honored when she chose my bed to sleep on in in the middle of the night because I grew up in Michigan, so we had cold winters. So
Oh, that's a great time to have a nice warm cat cuddle up with you in the
yeah,
cold. Yeah, I grew up in Minnesota when I was a little kid,
uh,
so
so you know
yeah,
what I'm talking about.
I know all about those cold, cold nights. You just need a dog or a cat to warm you up.
Yeah,
What is your meet cute story with your current cat, Cleo? How did Cleo come into
it
your life?
it's quite a interesting story. So It was 2020, so it was in the very early days of the pandemic and the lockdown. Things had locked down. It was like spring 2020, I think. And we were my my wife and my daughter Maddie were walking up to the library, which is only 3 blocks away, and they saw this little cat. She was juvenile, so probably around 2 years old, and it ended up being Cleo, this little gray cat.
Mhm.
And Maddie scooped her up and brought her home, and we're like, "Oh, we got a cat." And Mom and I are like, "Well, we scheduled this camping trip up to Big Sur the next day."
Oh, the
Yeah, so
timing.
I know. So we were supposed to be away for 3 days camping, and she's obviously somebody's pet at some point. And in the
Why do you
pandemic,
say that?
she was just very tame. She
Okay.
allowed herself to be picked up and pet. She knew to go to people for food,
Yeah.
which she was clearly begging for. And then when we fed her, she hung around. She didn't just take off. I don't know if you heard this, but in the pandemic, there were a lot of people that either couldn't take care of their pets anymore because they couldn't afford it, or they moved.
Mm,
And they
yeah.
fortunately would leave their pets behind, and then the pets would get lost and they don't know how to fend for
Mhm.
themselves.
Yeah, I heard
Um,
about that.
yeah, and I think cats more than dogs kind of rewild a little bit, like they get a little of their instincts back, which is what Cleo was doing, going around begging for food.
Mm.
And so back to our camping trip, we told Maddie and Ruby, my other daughter, okay, well, she's a great cat, we can tell, but we're going to go on the camping trip, and if she's meant to be our cat, she'll still be here. And we had a friend come and put food on the front porch every day, while we were gone. And
Mhm.
she said that Cleo kept coming back for food each day. But then when
Mm.
we returned, we couldn't find her and she wouldn't come back. And we are all really sad, actually. It was
Oh,
kind of the sign that we
yeah.
needed her to be our cat when all four of us were disappointed. And
Yeah, you all had a connection.
yeah. And then Maddie and Anna, my wife, decided to take a walk again. They're going up to the library, and 3 houses north of us, Anna saw Cleo on the front porch of some other lady's house. And she's like, Maddie, look. And she looked over and she didn't even blink. She just bolted over to this lady's front porch, just
Just
scooped her
went
up
up.
and just like, arms straight out with her four legs just bouncing,
Oh,
just ran all the way home.
wow. And Cleo was like, "Yes, my family's back."
He's like, okay, just make sure you give me some food. And
Right? As long as you take care of me, I'll stay.
yeah, and she was full of fleas, so I had to give her a
Yeah,
bath. So that was kind of the test. If she's going to stay after I submit her to a bath, then it should be okay.
that's a good test. That's fair.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
did. She hung around, and we're in Altadena, so we're pretty. I mean, everywhere is kind of
Mhm.
coyote country, but especially
Yeah.
close to the mountains, they're everywhere. So at night,
Yeah.
we definitely keep her in.
Okay.
But because she was on the street, she actually begs to go outside in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really hard once cats have that taste of outside to get them to wanna be inside, because then they'll start to, like, act
mm,
out and get in,
yeah,
claw up your furniture, and really they're
it's
they
so
w
true.
yeah, they wanna go
Yeah,
out back out once they get that taste.
once she knows we're not going to let her out, like whether it's raining or we're about to leave, um, her, she just starts taking it out on all her toys
Yep.
and starts running
Yeah.
from the house to the other. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's tough. So
but she's really good.
she is indoor, outdoor?
She's indoor, outdoor, only
Okay.
during the day. She's very schedule oriented. I
Okay.
don't know why, but
I mean, yeah, they've got a schedule of their own.
so like I get up first. She knows I feed her, and then right after food, I sit in the rocking chair with my coffee in the front room with a blanket on my lap, and then she ends up sitting on my lap. And if I'm too slow, she'll meow at me. She's like, "Come on, Dad, chop chop." And
Mhm.
then after breakfast, she'll actually go to the we have a sliding door in our bedroom to the backyard, and she'll go there, and if we haven't noticed, she'll come get us and go meow, and we'll say, "Okay, show me," and then she'll trot
Mm,
and beat us to the door, and
yeah.
you just because it faces east, our backyard, so she'll find a nice sunbeam and just sit there and
Oh,
hang
that's
out in the
nice.
backyard mainly.
That's good that it's, like, mostly in the backyard,
Yeah.
because when they wander off too far, that's where you get a little bit gets
Yeah.
risky with the especially with coyotes. You know, we've got I haven't seen that many around here, but I have seen them, we're near, like, Eagle Rock Boulevard,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
saw a coyote, like, at, like, 5 p.m., like, just running around
Mhm.
Eagle Rock Boulevard, and I was like, "That's not good," because it's a busy street, so
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, "That's really bold," and it's still very light out, so
yeah. Well,
super
especially they
scary.
lost a lot of habitat in the Eaton fire, so I think
Yeah.
more than ever, they came down into the neighborhoods.
Well, that's good that, you have, like, a safe routine for Cleo. Is she around? Can we or can you call her? How do you call her?
Uh,
Can she
Let
be
me open
called?
it. I'm in the garage, and if I
Oh, okay.
might I try to open the door and see if she'll
Yeah,
come
go
in?
ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
alright, we're playing chase now, so she won't let
Oh,
me get her, but I'll leave the
okay.
door open. If she, wanders in, I'll scoop her up.
Okay. Well, we'll hope for that, but we won't contrive it too much. That's fine.
Okay.
How would you describe Cleo in 3 words? Her
I gave that some
personality.
thought. I know she loves heat. That's kinda why she loves her people, but she
Mm,
likes it on her terms, as evidenced just now, running away
yep.
from me when I tried to get her. So I came up with persnickety heat smuggler.
That's great. Persnickety heat smuggler. That's a fantastic description. That's excellent. That it pretty much it sounds like it sums her up.
Yeah, because persnickety, it's on her terms, and we like to think she loves us, but I think it's she loves us for our heat.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, that's fair. That's all we can really sometimes it's the consistent thing we can offer a cat.
yeah,
If that's what
exactly.
makes them stay, that's fine.
Eating food.
Yep, I know. I think that's like pretty much that's Prince Gary just wants a lap. He's like, "You're a lap, you're food, so I'll stay."
Yeah.
There's no no loyalty beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said you're in Altadena. How
Mhm.
did what was it like for your family and Cleo with the fires of 2025 last year?
Yeah, it was really scary. I was about 6 o'clock when I first got my text from a friend. Like, we're west of Lake. We never really got a evacuation order until really late, like probably like 5:30 in the morning on the 8th, which was,
That was a
most people's
Wednesday?
houses were on fire by then.
Yeah.
Um, and I knew it was in Eaton Canyon, which in a normal fire, like we had the station fire at one point right above our house, but it just blew smoke down. It didn't rain cinders on us like this fire did.
Mm,
And this fire was a lot, or the wind was a lot stronger. So I was a little more kind of careful about it. So because we had such a lead time, we decided to pack early. So we had plenty of time to pack. So we just each
mm,
filled 3 bags, got them in the cars, and then we decided to self-evacuate early. So we got Cleo in her carrier and took our 2 cars and tried to get a hotel room. But man, they were all
mm.
full. Every single one was
Yeah.
overbooked. And so we actually thought we found one, but by the time we were checking in, they're like, nope, we're oversold.
Oh,
So we were
no.
pretty wiped out and tired because even the day before or two, the winds were pretty strong and
Yeah.
we're just not sleeping well because of that. So we
Mhm.
made the crazy choice to actually come back to our house at like 11 p.m. that night with
Wow,
I mean,
okay.
you could see the fire on the mountain and we were
Yeah, and it
driving
was
for
so windy still.
yeah. And as we drove up, uh, towards the mountain, the fire's getting bigger and bigger. And we're like, man, that is on top of us. But we just figured, that oh, she's coming in. I got her. Yeah, this is a perfect
Hi.
opportunity too, yeah.
Wow, she's so beautiful.
She's a good girl. So I'll try to
Oh.
speed up the story because she's the star. Um, so yeah, we went back to the house and we were like, okay, let's just get a few hours of sleep. We'll get woken up by
Mhm.
the evacuation order because, those alerts on your phone are pretty loud.
Yeah.
And we went to the power went out at midnight. So we're like, okay, great. So we got one flashlight that was working and went to sleep. And then at 3 in the morning, she started insistently just like walking on her chest, like she wouldn't get off.
Mm.
Usually, if we stir a little bit, she'll hop off, but she didn't.
Mm.
And so it woke us up, and the room was orange. And we're like,
Mm.
where's this coming from? And we looked out our sliding glass doors towards through our backyard, which has wisteria vines, but it's the winter time, so we could see through it. And there's a
Mm.
house on fire on the other side of the
Oof.
we butt the playground to Altadena Elementary School. So on the other side of the playground, there's a house on fire.
Sheesh.
It was
That's
like probably
close.
4 houses away.
Yeah.
So
Scary.
it had just caught fire. We could tell it was pretty small. So we
Mm.
quickly grabbed the little bags we had. Most of it's in the car still, but we're fumbling around with the one flashlight. So stupid. Should have had two because trying to share a flashlight is,
Yeah,
very
well, when
disorienting.
you're in the stress mode, it's like you gotta yeah,
The
you don't
fog
always
of that
have
panic is real, no
Yep.
matter how much you try to prepare. And
Mm-mm.
so she
Yeah.
hid, she knew something was up. And yes, okay, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
let you go. But she was the hero. She woke us up.
Good
Um,
job, Cleo. She knew.
but because she hid, there she goes.
Yeah.
We couldn't find her. And
Mm.
we're actually trying to figure out, do we have to leave? Because we looked at the fire was twice the size now in that house.
Yeah.
It was really growing quickly.
And was
So
it
I
spreading to other houses at that point,
we that's what we
or
were afraid of and how
Yeah.
quickly, I mean, it could hopscotch, like it could go like 5 houses down because the wind was blowing so strongly.
Yeah.
And so I had my wife get in her car and I just made a quick sweep of the house where I would look in all her hidey spots in each room. If I didn't find her, I'd close the door. And
Yeah.
I did that for the whole first floor and I still couldn't find her. And I was just in full panic mode and I just
Mm.
screamed her name and finally she meowed and it felt like it was like right in my head height. And we have this stairway that's one of those corkscrew stairs that goes to our attic, and we
Mm.
had left it open, and that's one of her favorite places to go.
Oh,
And she was
okay.
perched on the stairs. She heard me, and so she came and meowed, and she was perched on the stairs, and I could just grab her. So I grabbed her and
Good.
found the carrier, stuffed her in, and off we went.
Whew,
But
wow.
and at that point, when we were driving off, houses were on fire, like here and
Yeah.
there, like 6 houses away. A whole wall of houses were on fire.
Oh, that's so scary. Where
Mm.
did you end up finding shelter?
So the guy that called me at 6 o'clock the previous night and
Mhm.
said, "Hey, are you packing yet?" He lives in Burbank. He's actually the co-creator and one of the writers of The Ghost and Molly McGee.
Okay.
His name's Bill and Bill Motz and his partner Bob Roth. They created the show. Bill lives in Burbank, so he said it doesn't matter what time. If you have to evacuate, come. I have a garage that he converted to a home theater, so it's really comfortable. We just put
Okay.
an arrow bed down there, and that's where we slept for. I slept for the next probably month with
Okay.
Cleo. So yeah, and
Wow.
Cleo likes to go out, so I had to get a harness and a little leash,
Mhm.
and she thought it weighed 50 pounds, even though it was like
Yeah.
a pound.
She's like, "I'm sinking. Why?"
Yeah, but it allowed her to get outside and just kind of
Yeah.
see the sky and hear the birds and
Get her
sniff
outdoor
things.
fix.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was
wow.
pretty traumatic.
Yeah. Oh, man. Cleo really saved the day, though.
She did,
What
absolutely.
what could have happened if I mean, luckily your house sounds like it seems like it's okay,
It it
but
did survive. another little wrinkle in the story is we thought it burned down. One of my
Oh,
daughter's
wow.
friends, before they kind of cordoned it off with the National Guard, she and her dad drove up here with their dash cam and were videotaping what they thought was our street. But because there's so many houses burned to the ground, they were disoriented and
Mm.
they texted us and said, "We're really sorry your house burned."
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so we're just
Yeah.
weeping and we're like, "Should she sent a video, should we watch it? I don't know if I wanna see it." And I
Yeah.
need the closure. Good thing I did because
Yeah.
immediately recognized the streets they were on, and it was 1 block away. So
Okay.
they missed a turn. So
Okay.
that gave me hope, and then I have
Yeah.
another friend who's a fire captain, and he could go anywhere, and so he was actually checking on us.
Okay.
And he drove by, our house was in good shape, and he took a photo and sent it to us, and so then we knew at that point we're probably out of the woods. That was probably middle of the day on the 8th.
That's good. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that brief moment of like
Oh my
grief
god.
that you felt, that's so awful to even be in that situation where you have to wonder, like, is our
Mhm.
home okay?
Yeah.
Did we lose everything? Is just
And
such a scary
yeah,
feeling.
and it's not so much the house itself, it's the home. So it's
It's the
what makes up the
home.
home. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't care how much you think you're prepared, you're never prepared enough because
No.
yes, you brought enough clothes and maybe some things you could think about off the top of your head, like a couple photo albums or hard drives or, your
Yeah.
passport and all that. But then you start remembering, oh, I forgot some of the kids'
Yeah.
schoolwork, some of the artwork they made, that one
Yeah, the
thing that I
irreplaceable
cherished that,
stuff.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. And we
you
had
just
left
can't
behind.
go and buy that, you can't replicate it again.
Yeah.
Like in the family heirloom or something, or like, pictures
Mm,
of family members that have maybe passed on that like you can't get those
exactly.
pictures back. Like that's
Mhm.
irreplaceable.
Yeah. Because, a lot
Yeah.
of people have photo albums online and in the cloud, but I've lived long enough to have a period of my life that wasn't digitized, and so,
Exactly.
if those photos went, they would just be gone.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's so sad. Yeah. I was reading somebody had posted about, how to prepare for the fires cuz they went through the fires and saving their cat. And she said, to have a bag ready, like a to-go bag for your cat with like, these
That's so
items. And
true.
it was, yeah, and it was kind of like something that she learned going through the process. She's like, have a bag of clothes ready for you because she's like, for some reason, all I grabbed was my leopard coat. And like, she's like a
Gotta
weirdo.
have
And,
your leopard
you
coat.
know,
Come on.
yeah, she's like, all I had was my leopard coat and like, I don't know, a pair of leggings. And she's like, I don't know why, but when you're in that state of panic, you're not thinking, like you just grab whatever.
Right.
And, to have that already ready
Yeah.
is helpful. But like you said, even with that preparation, you can never prepare enough when you're in that state of
Yeah.
stress.
And I just heard that, you gotta have a go bag for you and every member of your family, but you also have to have a go bag for any pet you have.
Yep.
So it's like, food, carrier, any meds they have,
Yep.
and probably if they have to go potty, if they're a cat, some cat litter or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I also saw on the news, or I think on either online or the news, to put up there's stickers you can buy
Mm.
to label on your window if there's a pet. So in
Oh,
case there's a fire and that you can't locate them or find them, then the fire department knows to search for, I think they put like a cat, a dog, a bird,
oh,
or
cool.
you can write like other on there. So if that's something I'm looking into getting for my own window
That's
to
interesting
have.
because when I grew up, they had like red stickers for the windows for children. And
Oh,
when I was
okay.
in grade school, we actually had them on our windows.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I should do that for my daughter too. But yeah, it's really hard to prepare for something like that. But we
No,
can
it
do our
is.
best, and
Yeah.
I think having the to-go bag is good. And also another thing that I read was like just leaving the carrier out so that the if your
Mm.
cat or pet isn't isn't used to going in the carrier, that they can just become
Yeah.
familiar with it being there rather than like hiding it away and then bringing it out and then they're like, "No, I don't want to go." And it's, you're
Right.
already in a state of panic and you're trying to shove the animal in the carrier
Right.
and then, that doesn't work. So, yeah.
Like, I know that box. It leads me to shots and probe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want any part of that.
Exactly. Prince is terrible with wanting to go in his carrier. He, like, pees it every time, so I don't know. I guess I should leave it out, but he just really
Yeah,
doesn't.
but do you have one of those hard case ones, or does it fold down?
It's a cloth one, so
Yeah, we had that,
yeah.
but after this, it kind of fell apart. So
Yeah.
we had one of those hard plastic ones with the metal
Does that
doors.
work better?
I mean, it's sturdy, but
Yeah.
it doesn't fold down. So, you have to have room somewhere to store it.
Right. Yeah, we've got one that one of those hard ones that a friend gave us, but Prince
And
has never been in it, so I don't know, maybe that might be better just as like his to-go one, just in case it seems like
yeah.
it'd be easier to kind of load into a car and
Hmm.
have it be a little more stable. I don't know. But yeah, oh man, what a harrowing tale. That's really, and it's only been a little over a year.
Yeah.
That's
The,
wild. It
the
feels like it
year
just
was just
happened.
a week ago. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm so glad you and your family and Cleo are all okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, our daughters they're both in college now, and
Mm,
they had gone back to they come home for Christmas, and I think 4 days before the fire, they went back to their colleges. So they were safe there. But,
yeah.
for them, it was hard because, anytime you get your information through the TV news, it's so hyped that,
Oh, yeah.
or even the internet, it's just all they saw were, really horrific images. And
Yeah, exactly. And when you see all these like houses on fire, it just like your heart just drops to your stomach, and it's
yeah,
just a terrible, terrible thing to witness, especially
yeah.
when it's so close to home.
Hmm.
So tell us about your film Disaster Cats,
Yeah.
as it relates very much to your experience with the Altadena fires.
Yeah. So, I went to college at University of Michigan, and freshman year, I took this film course, Intro to Film, and that's where I ended up meeting one of my longtime friends, Jennifer Kim. We both ended up, because of that class and that professor, Professor Cohen, we both majored in film because it was amazing. It just like blew your mind, and it's just like, oh my God, I got to figure out some way to do this. And so after graduation, she first moved out here, and then I followed like a year later. Once I was like, okay, if she's doing it, I guess I can. Because
Mm.
when you're from Michigan, Los Angeles just seems like a big Shark Tank, and it's
Oh, yeah.
all scary. And so, yeah, fast forward many years later, I worked in animation for a while, and she's worked at PBS, and she's been a screenwriter. She reached out to me end of August and said, because she also lived in Altadena. She lived over by Muir High School in a condo, and she had to evacuate with her two cats as well.
Mm.
And she said that there's this Ashes to Film organization that they are encouraging filmmaking through and healing through filmmaking,
Mhm.
or healing through art. Because the guy Shiloh Strong, the guy who started it, that's what he did. Many years ago, he lost a home to a Santa Barbara fire.
Mm.
And he was in the dumps for a while, and probably real depression, until somebody asked him to participate in a film. And it really just reignited that passion for creativity that, we have in us. And he found it very healing. It gave him something to positively focus on instead of just all the loss. And
Yeah.
so that he wanted to do that for other people. So he started this org, Ashes to Films, and this was the
Mm.
first wave of it. And they were offering grants to get us started. and a lot of in-kind donations like stage access, equipment access, and so on.
Mhm.
And actually networking, that helped out a lot. So Jennifer said, I got this great story. We're both cat people. We both live in Altadena. There's
Yeah.
this true story. It was on CBS, the local news. Bergie, the cat, um, her owner, she had multiple cats and two dogs. And in the chaos of her evacuation, Bergie got loose. And the
Mm.
fire was, I mean, her house is like, it's her house and then the mountain. So the
Geez, like
mountain
right
was,
up against it.
it was, yeah, there's nothing in between her house and the fire. So it was go time for her big time. And
Yeah.
so she was chased out. So she could not hang around and try to find Bergie, especially
Mhm.
since she was hiding. And so she left the doggy door open and the front door open, so she had an escape route.
Mhm.
But she thought she was leaving her for the last time. It was
Oh, that's
really,
so
you know,
heartbreaking.
totally heartbreaking. Her name's Rhea, the owner. And so this was the story. And fire swept through. 32 days later, these cat trappers who were just doing it out of the goodness of their heart, they're trying to find as many cats as possible and then reconnect them. Like if they're chipped, they get scanned, or they just use like posters and online posting and try to reconnect their cats with their owners.
Mm.
And they reconnected Bergie with her owner. It was a happy ending. So
That's
32 days
incredible.
she was in the burn zone, surviving
Wow.
coyotes, lack of water, food, everything. So it was very, I think, a story that we thought would resonate with anybody that was a survivor of the fire, where, whether
Mm.
you lost your house or not, you got chased out. It was scary. There were things
Mhm.
you had to do that you didn't think you'd have to do to try to get to the other side, and get to
Yeah.
safety, get to hope again. And so that's what we saw in this story of this little cat, this little house cat.
Oh
So
man.
since there was no video or footage of the time Bergie spent in the wild,
Yeah.
um, Jennifer thought that maybe we could animate that, and that's where I came in. So
Wow. So how did you kind of come, because I mean, I'm sure there was no tracker on Bergie to know exactly what Bergie did in the wild. Was that just kind of something you filled in with your imagination, or what was that process like?
Jennifer and I talked a lot about that in the early brainstorming. We knew that um, it could not be completely factually based, but we
Mm.
could infer a lot of the things that could have happened to Berkey. And a lot of the cat experts we talked to said a lot of times cats, they love crawl spaces. They'll find
Mhm.
safety there. And if they can also find water, they'll hang out there for a while. And
Mhm.
then at some point they get hungry after like 3 or 4 days, and then they start kind of roaming, looking for food and water. And if they haven't been like, attacked by like a coyote or something, they might wander further. So we kind of pieced together like an escalating series of hurdles for her, because screenplays are fairly structured. So we did, just food and water, realizing her home's gone. And
Mhm.
then we also had rains and mudslides shortly after that because it was
Mhm.
winter last year.
Yep.
Oh, after this happened. So that's another part of the story that we thought she would have to navigate. So we included that.
Mhm.
Uh, and then she met a friend. There were a lot of loose pets, and we know that she has a dog sibling that she loves,
Mhm.
and she allows the dog to groom her, so she's
Oh
friendly
wow.
with dogs.
Yeah.
So we had her meet a dog friend, and then another really scary coyote interaction
Mm.
kind of caused her to finally trust the traps that were full of food. And that's kind of how we
Mm.
had her be willing to go into the trap because she was really at her wit's end at that point. And then
Yeah.
once she went in there, she got trapped, and the humane trappers got her and brought her to Rhea. So
Okay, so that's how she ended up being reunited?
yeah, I mean, whether all that happened in that same order or what, nobody knows, but
Yeah. You kind of know the beginning and the end, and you
yeah,
fill in the rest
exactly.
with
And
possibility.
again, this was something for the people of Altadena too, and the people
Mhm.
that were affected by it, and
Yeah.
when we showed it, I mean, there was not a dry eye in the house. It
Ugh,
was really,
I'm getting chills and like tearing up just thinking about it. It's just that was like the really heartbreaking thing, hearing about all the animals that were
yeah.
affected by the fires, like the wild animals and the domestic animals. And
Hmm.
I was actually like a friend that volunteers at Tailtown Cat Cafe was
Hmm.
like came to our house for to stay for a night and was just in tears over all
Yeah.
the cats that had to be evacuated. And the fires were right there, and so
Hmm.
we weren't sure at that point, like, would that even be there for the cats to
Yeah.
go back. Nobody knew what was going to
Yeah.
last, so it's just such a terrifying experience.
Yeah. And, to your point, the reason why Bergie got saved in the trap that she was saved in, the trap was not set for her. It was set for
Mm,
these other three cats that an owner said, well, that's my house. I had three cats that I couldn't
mhm,
evacuate that were there. So if you could set a trap there, maybe maybe they're out there and they'll find their way home and we'll capture them.
mhm.
Unfortunately, all three of them, they found their remains. They didn't
Oh.
make it. But the good part of the story is, that because of that trap, because of that intention to find those three cats, Bergie was saved. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
beautiful. It's unfortunately not everybody, yeah, could survive, but we have to celebrate, the ones that we still have. And that's such an inspiring, hopeful story that
That's what we hope.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it sounds like you created something really, really special. I'm very excited to watch it. And I think, it's gonna, I believe it's gonna create a lot of healing for a lot of people, especially those that have gone through a similar story with their pet.
Yeah, we hope so. And, we have plans I mean, a lot of people told us that they don't think it needs to be fully animated. They liked my storyboards and animatic the way it was, but
Mm,
we would like to just make it a little more smooth as far as the
mm-hmm.
movement, and then hopefully we can get it out to a wider audience. And then, like Jennifer likes to say, that this could potentially be a series. It could be
Mm.
focusing on other disasters because wherever you have a hurricane or a flood or a fire, pets
Oh yeah,
are impacted by
absolutely.
those too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely. There was a fire in Maui not too long ago, a couple
yeah,
years ago, so
we'd love to tell those stories as well. And
yeah.
we could even spin off, like, children's books, so if kids are having a hard time dealing with this, or a graphic novel for a middle
Mm,
school kid, they could have that in their hands and as a way to deal with it on a level that they're able to do. So hopefully
that's
those are kind of all our plans at the moment.
yeah, that's so beautiful. So what message do you feel like you were hoping to give with Disaster Cats? Like, what's the main message through your
Well, the main
film?
message is hope, but that hope, it's not just something that you can do yourself, because Bergie was saved through the efforts of two animal rescuers, other networks of people at like Tailtown, they helped as well. The Humane Society helped. Obviously a lot of the first responders and a lot of volunteers that in their network. So the point is, we need a community that
Mm,
all bands together and helps each other, and through that we can find hope and resilience. So that's really kind of the message, is that
mm.
yes, alone we're going to have despair and we're going to hit walls that we don't think we can get over, but we can definitely get through that, get over that wall, if we lean on each other and help each other.
That's beautiful. I love that message, and that's such a great it ties in so well, with Bergie's story. Like you said, there
Mhm.
was, some cats lost that the traps were initially set for, but then,
Yes,
they found Bergie, and that
exactly.
that was able to bring, reuniting Bergie with her owner.
Yeah.
What an amazing film. I'm so excited for it to, become more distributed and for people to be able to watch it. So how can people donate or, help you along with the promotion process of this to, get it out there and get the word out there about this film?
So there's a couple ways to find us. We are on Instagram, Disaster Cats, plural, film.
Okay. We'll have that
And
linked in the show notes.
yeah, and just to know, it's not to enrich us at all.
Yeah.
We put in so many volunteer hours on this. I think I made
Mhm.
$100 over the course of 3 months.
Yeah.
Most of it will go to, like, we still have to hire animators, and I also teach storyboards at Azusa Pacific University, so
Okay.
I hope to include students. So this will be a good
Mhm.
opportunity for them. But I also have some professional friends that are interested in helping. So I don't know if you know, but the animation industry has been in pretty tough times. We've all been unemployed for a number of months. So if I can help
Yeah.
them out a little bit, help them pay their bills, that's probably what I'll go for.
That's great too. It sounds like you're building community through this as well, not just the
Hmm.
community that brought Bergie to be reunited, but the impact is still expanding through this film, which is so amazing. I'm really excited to
Oh,
be
thank
able to
you.
watch it. Um, well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's good inspiration for us to get it done as soon as we can.
yeah. Were you inspired by the film Flow at all? I'm just curious. Or
Yes,
was there
actually,
any like
and
parallel
and
to that?
the fact that they used free software, Blender, to get it done
Okay.
inspired us to do anything we could to get this out there, which,
Yeah.
it's not perfect by any means. It was the means we had. And
Mhm.
so it allowed us to get it done in the form it's done in now. But yeah, so actually, Jennifer would pitch Disaster Cats as Altadena's Flow.
Yeah. It's that's what I was kinda thinking when I
Yeah.
saw the little trailer and the still shots. I was like, "This is kinda like Flow," but I don't know.
Yeah. I
Flow
mean,
Flow kind of stressed me out just because I was just like, "Ah, the cat, like, oh no, like, what's gonna happen?" But
it's like one cataclysm after another.
yeah, like, so many close calls, and I'm like, "Ah, is the
Yeah.
cat gonna be okay?" But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely, we took a lot of inspiration from that.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast and sharing all about your own personal experience with cats and this amazing
My pleasure.
film that is coming out very soon. And you just premiered it at the Ashes to Films Festival, you said?
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you so much for this opportunity to talk about it and just share the story of Altadena, because, we're
Yeah.
still all in it, and,
Yeah.
it's hard to know for the rest of the world, but it's going to take a number of years for us to bounce back. So just don't forget about us.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we're all still recovering. It's,
Mhm.
luckily my area, in Glassell Park was not terribly affected, but so many places that I love were, and it's a community effort to support everyone, that needs help right now. So
Absolutely.
definitely do what you can for your local shelters, and there's still cats that have lost their homes that need to be homed. So
Yeah. And come up to Altadena. We have a few restaurants that are open again and a couple
yeah.
businesses, but you got to actually come up the hill, make an
Yeah,
effort. They'd be happy to have you. They're welcome you with open arms.
fantastic. All right. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
That wraps up our show for today. Thank you to our guest David and his cat Cleo for joining us. You can stalk us on all social platforms at My Cat Calling and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. If you liked anything about the show today, you can show your support for this indie podcast by subscribing to our channel or leaving a comment or sharing this episode with the cat lover in your life. Thanks for listening. We love you.